Hello, I'm Megan Charpentier and I'm here in the Cabarrus Health Alliance's Wellness Kitchen, and we're going to be making baby food today. Super simple to go ahead and do, and it will actually be really great with your food budget to save you some money down the road, especially if you've got a couple little ones on the way. So today we're going to show you how to make zucchini as well as peaches. We're going to be doing both of these separately so we can show you how simple it can be whether you have a fresh produce or something canned. You also can do baby food by using frozen produce, whatever you've got on hand in the freezer. But with that, there's a few different steps, so we'll talk through those as we continue to go along today. So we're going to start with a zucchini. So we are going to make zucchini puree. Something super simple as long as you've got a blender on hand or a mixer, or at least some forks and knives that you can chop up really, really well. So to start, all we're going to do is actually wash and peel the zucchini. So I've already washed it here. We're just going to peel it, and I have a vegetable peeler. If you have just a potato peeler, anything you've got, if not, just take a knife and we're just going to get the skin to be removed. This will allow the fresh produce to be broken down a little bit more whenever we're throwing it into our blender. As you know, babies, take a little bit of time to digest all of that extra fiber. While we want the skin on as adults, we want to make sure we're peeling it for our little ones here. So we're just going to finish peeling this. And any type of squash is great, especially for around 6 to 8 months when you can start introducing these foods to those little infants. Is wonderful to start having on hand. And especially if you're able to make a lot in bulk, you'll be set to go and be able to store a lot for a while. So we have our zucchini peeled. We're just going to go ahead and cut it into about 1-inch sections. You don't need to spend a whole lot of time chopping and dicing super finely, just because, like I said, we are going to throw this into a blender today. So we're just going to chop here, and what we're going to do is also go ahead and throw it into a pot of boiling water. So on the stove top here, we've got some water boiling. You also could throw it into a microwavable safe bowl and pop it in the microwave for a few minutes. It's just going to help to soften the food that we're looking to puree. The longer that you cook the vegetables, the softer they will get. So it's really up to you. But if you have a powerful blender, you really don't need to do it for a whole lot of time, just because it is going to puree really nicely. So I'm going to dump these in here. And we're going to give it about a minute on the stove top. So while we're doing that, I'm going to transition into our fruit option for you, so you can see what that looks like while we're waiting for that to start to cook a little bit. So in the meantime, like I said, we're going to just use peaches, and I have a can of peaches. So as you can see, they're in 100% juice. That's really what you want to find when you're at the grocery store, or make sure perhaps if you're looking at that ingredient list that it absolutely is in water, or at least that 100% juice. Sometimes they do add a lot of concentrate and added sugars, and we want to avoid that if we can. So with this can here, we're actually still going to continue to rinse and drain it. So I've got a colander in the sink, and we're going to throw our peaches in there. Even though it's in 100% juice, we are going to still rinse our peaches. So when you're using anything that's coming from a can, you're actually able to skip the step of cooking it in the microwave or on the stove top, as it's already going to be softer consistency. So we're going to take our blender. We're going to assemble it here, and we're going to dump our peaches right into the blender. And then we're going to add a little bit of water. It's not going to need a whole lot of water, and we'll just keep it on hand to continue to add while we think the consistency needs to be pureed a little bit more. But for the most part, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about as soon as we get this started. So I'm going to pop this on, and it's going to be a little loud for a minute. And actually, we didn't add any water yet to our canned peaches, and I honestly don't think we're going to need to add any at all. So with our peaches here, you can go ahead and see we have a nice puree ready to go for our baby food. And so let me grab a spatula to show you all that we have the same consistency that you would with any other baby food that you're buying in a bottle or a jar here. Now, what I like to be able to do is make a lot of these in bulk. As you know, peaches are going to be in season if you're looking for fresh, or if you wanted to buy a lot of canned peaches and kind of stock up when they're on sale at the grocery store. What the best method to do here is to use an ice cube tray. Just using a regular ice cube tray that you can find at the dollar store, you might actually already have at home, and separating all of the puree into the actual ice cube tray. Then letting the ice cube tray go ahead and put it in the freezer, and once they're frozen, popping them out, and each little individual ice cube fill is actually going to be about 2 ounces of baby food. So depending on where your baby's at in stages of eating, you might be able to have 2 or 3 different ice cubes per serving. And then once you have them in your little Ziploc bags, you're going to pop them out, let them defrost, heat it up in the microwave, whatever you prefer, and you're ready to go. So the same consistency is going to save you a lot of money and a lot of the extra materials that actually you're buying when you purchase the individual jars from the grocery store. So super simple to go ahead and do, as you can see with our peaches. And again, you want to introduce peaches about 6 to 8 months as well. So this is something really, really simple to go ahead and do, and really didn't take a whole lot of time either. So I'm going to put that to the side because our zucchini is actually ready to go. So we have it was boiling here, and we're just going to go ahead and rinse and drain those as well. Just to get the extra water off for right now. And we're going to pop into our other blender the remainder of the zucchini that we went ahead and cut up. Same concept. We're going to throw everything that we just did right here into our blender. And we're going to put this lid on here. And again, if we need to add some water throughout this process, we'll certainly do so, but you really don't want to add anything other than water. Water is really all you really need to continue with these vegetables and fruits. Obviously, we want to keep it as natural and fresh as possible. All right, so we have our zucchini here. A little bit of water I think will help with this. There's some chunks right in the middle, so we're just going to go ahead and add just maybe a teaspoon or a tablespoon of water and let this work again on our blender just to get that right consistency that your baby will love. Perfect. So same thing, we have everything ready to go, and this is a deeper blender, so let me pour some out into a little bowl for you guys to be able to see what it looks like. Same consistency as our peaches show here. So this is a great way to make sure your baby's getting enough produce and great vitamins and minerals from the baby food that you're able to prepare at home, and that way you know exactly what's in it. So again, super simple steps. If you're using anything that's fresh, you want to make sure you're going to peel the skin back, maybe pop it in the microwave or an oven or on the stove top, or even the oven if you wanted to roast it for a little bit, just to soften up the produce. And then you're going to go ahead and pop it into a blender, adding a little bit of water if you need a different consistency. Anything canned, you want to make sure you're rinsing and draining it, doing the exact same thing, but you don't have to pop it in the microwave or the oven. Pop it right into your blender and you're ready to go. As with frozen, you probably do need to let it thaw out or defrost for a little bit. Maybe pop it on the stove top just to make it the right consistency. Same concept. I do suggest putting them in those ice cube trays so you can make a lot at one time and you're ready to go at any time your baby's hungry. So I hope you've enjoyed our baby food recipes. If you're looking for this handout that we've been referring to this whole time, check below on the website if you're watching online, or check in the waiting rooms and you'll be able to get a full resource of how to make your own baby food for a quick, simple, and a great food budget. Thank you so much.